Not Nerd Podcast, episode 365. It's a thing.
Welcome to the Not Nerd Podcast. I'm Nate Heath, and we are here to help you tech better. Here with me, as always, Mr. Dave Baylor.
Nate, I can't stop looking at your smiling face and your happiness. It's always so good to join you here each week.
Yes, we have a good excuse to get together and talk about technology, which we would do anyways, otherwise, and then people get to listen to us too. So
yeah. I will say though, you're triggering my OCD a little bit. You're not quite centered in the camera.
Yes, I'm doing a new little tripod angle here for my camera that nobody else gets to see, but yes, I was off center. I apologize for that.
Apology accepted, and you've corrected it. You could turn the camera too, but anyway, I digress. I'm guessing that we probably have things that we talked about before that we need to talk about again.
Oh yeah, like follow-up?
I think that's what we call it.
Oh yes, indeed. Well, first thing I want to mention, this is, we're nearing the end of 2022. I mean, a mere few weeks away. We even have an end-of-the-year list topic coming up later. But this, as we record, is episode 365. And Dave, how many days are there in a year?
Well, it depends on whether it's a leap year or not.
Yes, a normal year.
I'm going to say 365 and a quarter days.
Yes. So I was thinking somebody out there for their New Year's resolution should be to listen to an episode of Not Nerd every day in 2023.
That's... it's going to be really rough the first couple years.
Yes. I need to go. I've listened to the episode 1 a couple times, but I need to go back and listen to some of those other early ones because it has been rough. Many a moon, but 365 episodes. Here we are.
Yeah. Let's pat ourselves on the back for being consistent. Nice.
Yes. Well, some of our other consistent stories. So SBF, from Mr. Bankman-Fried from FTX, he's been on this media tour, he's doing all these news interviews, and he was at some big New York Times conference, and he's kind of going with I'm not really sure what happened, but I read a couple articles, this complete fraud and mishandling of customer funds. But he's
becoming a poster child, and then he's going to get put in a slammer.
Yeah, well, we can only hope that, but he doesn't seem to be admitting wrongdoing. He's just kind of this really stinks for everybody involved. And it's yes, because you're the one in charge. Can you take a little responsibility? But
the buck does not stop there, apparently.
Yes. And also Twitter, Elon Musk. So I don't know if we knew about it last week, but he was starting to feud with Apple and saying all this stuff and saying that Apple was going to remove him from the App Store and, talking about their 30% app tax that he was going to go after and all this stuff. And then 2 days later, he posts a video of one of the lakes in the middle of the Apple campus and said, "Hey, just met with Tim Cook. Everything's good now." And apparently Apple's back advertising on Twitter. I mean, this roller coaster ride is just insane. And then on Friday, I forget what the hashtag was, but he had a BB, Matt somebody who's a independent journalist. He gave him a bunch of the emails they had found regarding the Hunter Biden laptop story right before the 2020 election. And I will quickly remind people that we are the most nonpartisan tech podcast on the internet. But he had a bunch of emails from people talking with the government about suppressing the story and some of the other stuff around that with, the government had basically an open line of communication to Twitter and probably all of the other social media networks, basically saying, hey, we don't really like this story. We don't like this person. The actor James Woods, who is very outspoken on the right, his account, there was some email from the government saying, hey, can we ban this guy? So apparently probably before you hear this episode, they're supposed to do some more stuff. So Elon's finding a lot of stuff, but he also published that users are way up. They're getting millions of new signups every day. So this whole thing is just craziness.
Who's signing up? I mean, if you're not on Twitter before, why are you there now?
That is a good question. I actually caught, they want to see what's going on. They want to try to keep up with the story. And one of the other big things, and people were talking a couple of weeks ago, Twitter's going to totally break with the World Cup going on because there's, so many people talking about the World Cup. Well, it's been doing fine and more usage. There was a Twitter Spaces, which is like the audio meeting thing that they have on there. I
had no idea.
Yeah, he joined a couple people that were hosting one. There was 100,000 people tuned in listening. I listened to it for a little bit, but it's just basically journalists asking him questions. But yeah, the whole Twitter thing is just wild. I don't know that I need to recommend any, like you're saying, anybody who's not using it to go use it, but I get a lot of enjoyment out of Twitter, and this is bringing some excitement because Elon Musk is all over the place.
Yeah, it's definitely fun to watch.
Yes. We were talking last week about China and some of the protests going on. Well, Apple released, I think it's iOS 16.1.1.
Sounds right.
The latest update, and it was found that in China only, there is now, you cannot, like AirDrop. Everybody knows what AirDrop is, and you can turn it on. Well, in China, people were airdropping people stuff that the government did not like. So now you can only have that on for 10 minutes, where it's like you'll receive from anybody, so that people can't just be sending these anti-government messages along with the protests and everything else going on.
And some people were saying, well, this is a good idea because I take the subway, and if I leave it on everybody, people send me inappropriate photos and stuff. But I got to think that there's a very small percentage of people who are in mass groups like that are being sent messages. I mean, people in New York, the West Coast has no subways.
Yeah.
So maybe the bus or something like that. But I think for everyday regular people, leaving it on everybody, it doesn't affect them.
No, and I will tell you, I leave mine on all the time, and I had never gotten anything till probably 3 weeks ago while I was DJing at the marathon. I got a request. Somebody wanted to send me something, and I was like, well, I know people there. I thought maybe somebody would send me a song request or something. I was like, no. So I hit accept. It was some people that had taken a selfie in part of the bar, and they were trying to share it with somebody, and they accidentally sent it to me. But it happened twice in one weekend. But those are the only two times I've been in some big crowds, but it's never happened. But I just thought it was kind of interesting. That's happened to me recently, and then this story came out. But apparently it's going to be rolling out other places. But there's a lot of discussion about, how much power China has on Apple to, do these things. And there was another story, I believe it was published in the New York Times, talking about how Apple is planning to move out of China as much. We've talked some about their, the plant in Arizona and some stuff, but that they might be trying to really get out of there, which
it's long past due.
Yeah.
I mean, 10 years ago, if they could have gotten out of there, that would have been much better.
Yes.
It takes time to steer a ship that size.
Yeah. They make a couple things in China, and one of the things they make in China is the iPhone 14s, which if you're hoping for a Pro for Christmas, you might have to wait a while due to issues over in China. But we got one of the stories that we knew we were going to get. Apple's iPhone 14 emergency SOS via satellite feature saves stranded man in Alaska.
Yeah, that's a neat story. I mean, it's just what we were talking about before. People are out and about. They have their phone with them. They get on the wrong path. They get on the wrong trail, their car breaks down, something happens, and it's like, ooh, I don't have any way to get a hold of somebody. So this actually worked.
Yeah.
And rescue people came in, and I read this article, and they said that the workers were impressed with just how much information that it gave to them and how accurate the find feature was. So thumbs up for the service, I guess.
Yeah, and it's currently available in North America and will soon expand to France, Germany, Ireland, the UK, and I'm sure other places as well. Seems like our buddy Elliot down under could really benefit from this SOS service because he is in the outback often and will send us pictures of his amazing adventures down there.
Yeah, and the thing about the outback, you could take a picture anywhere in any direction, and it all looks the same.
Yes.
No,
yes.
I kid. A large portion, though.
Yes.
A large portion.
Yes. And I will bring him up, Ye West, who has many a controversy going, but I did want to follow up on the story that sounds like he will not be buying Parler, the social media app, after all.
Well, I think he probably doesn't have any money left
Yes.
after all of his sponsorships got canceled.
Yes, yes. And a couple of weeks ago, we were talking about the MrBeast Burger.
Yeah.
And I don't know why I was thinking about it, but I started looking around and I remembered something because I went on there and we were looking at the website. But if I go to do it and have it delivered to my house, it's like, yes. And so I started looking at locations and I remembered he's got a couple physical restaurants that we talked about before, but he's got ghost kitchens. So this is more of a thing now where delivery only restaurants, they use somebody else's kitchen. And I was reading through some reviews and it said, my family wasn't impressed and everything came in Red Robin bags. So I think, and it was, the map location was right about where the Tualatin Red Robin is, and the Sherwood has a location too. So I think MrBeast Burger, so in their kitchen, they just have the stuff and they'll do MrBeast Burger orders. So I think you and I need to get together and have some MrBeast Burger
I'm actually
delivered to
hungry
us.
right now.
Well, order it up and you could have it by the end of the show.
Maybe so.
Yes, indeed. Well, you know what else you can order up? Dave's Pro Tip of the Week.
So this is a real-time pro tip because I was frustrated today. A friend of mine said, hey, do you have that video of the thing? And I'm like, yeah, I watch it all the time.
Yeah.
It's somewhere. And so it's a clip from a security camera thing that we had. So I look on my computer at work because there's a work camera that recorded this event. And I couldn't find it. I'm like, what in the heck? So I look on my external hard drives. I'm doing a search.
Oh,
I'm doing all this
I know
stuff.
your pain.
I can't find it. I'm like, I type in metadata that I think is relevant. Nothing's coming up. I'm like, well, maybe I dropped it in my photos, right? So I look in my photos. It's not there. I happen to have my home laptop with me today, so I opened it up. Is it on the drive here? I searched through iCloud. And I'm like, I just opened this video like 2 weeks ago. It's got to be somewhere close. So anyway, with some more digging, I found it. Guess where I found it?
Where was it?
It was on my desktop.
Oh, yes. Yeah. Where it should be.
But it was
where
named,
all your files should live.
But it was named like 2022-04-06 Cam 8 West Hallway .mp4 or whatever. I'm like, I didn't search for any of that stuff.
Yeah.
So I finally found it. And I'm like, how do I get some metadata on this file so that this does not happen again? And so today we're going to take a look at how to add Exif data, that's metadata, to your photos and videos on Mac computers and potentially iOS devices. Of course, Apple makes it a little bit harder. But on your computer, it couldn't be simpler. You open up Photos, and this is provided you have the photos and movies in the Photos application that you want to edit here. You just simply go to your library, click on one of the photos. You click the little circle with the letter I in it. It brings up an info window. The info window has a couple fields that you can edit. One is caption and one is keyword. But if you go up to your photos menu bar under view, you will see an item titled metadata. And you can turn on titles, keywords, whether, the edit status, referenced file, location. And if you enable all of this metadata, I'm having trouble talking today. If you enable all this metadata, it will show you, is this going to be wrong again? So if you turn on those so hard to say. So if you turn on the metadata fields and you click the little info pane, you'll be able to change a few things. For example, adding a keyword would have been instrumental in helping me find this video that I was going to share with a friend today. You can go in there, tag those things, do it that way. Now you might be saying, now how do I do that on my phone? Who uses a Mac computer anyway with photos, or even a PC? Who does that? Yuck, gross, computers. Well, I got to tell you, on the phone, it's not as simple. You may notice when you open up the Photos application and you tap on a photo, there is the little letter I in the circle, and you can tap that. Or, pro tip, you can swipe up on the photo and it'll reveal the same thing. The only thing you can adjust here is the time.
Which is really weird.
Yeah, that's somewhat helpful so that I can position it where I want it to be in my library of photos.
Have that info.
If it's sticking it clear at like 1969 at midnight, I can say, no, it was taken today or whatever. So it's a little bit harder. What you need to do is invest in a third-party app or apps to accomplish this. And one of the ones that I purchased years ago is called Exif Viewer, EXIF Viewer. It's got a yellow icon, and it costs a few bucks. But they have a light version as well that gives you limited access.
Is that the one by Fluntro?
That is the one.
I have also purchased that app in the past.
Yeah, they've been around for a while. Online, a couple other apps came up that people were recommending, but I really like Exif. I think it's probably $4.99 or something like that. But if you have this need to add keywords, to adjust titles, location data, the date and time is now built into the operating system, so that's not. But it didn't used to be. Yeah. You used to be stuck, which is, I think, why I bought the application to begin with many, many moons ago. But the Photos application is one way to do it, and then a third party on your iOS devices. Now, on your Mac, this is an additional pro tip. I know you're getting lots for your money today. Ooh. Let's say you're on your computer desktop and you have a file that you want to adjust. Well, you can just click on the icon and go to the Get Info item by right-clicking or going up into the menu. And in that Get Info, you can adjust the comments, you can change the icon, you can do a few other things in there, but commenting is one of the great things that you can do. So, for example, if that photo had been on my desktop, or that movie that I was looking for, and I had typed in the comments, like the time, the place, the person, all this stuff, it would have shown up in my search. Yeah. And so if something's on your desktop, it could be a PDF, a video, a picture, anything. You can adjust the keyword search or the tags by going and adjusting the comments. And if it's a photo in your library of photos on your phone or on your computer, you can go into that little info pane and make adjustments there. So it's crazy, I know, but it is very helpful, and it's a little nerdy, a little techie to get there. I wish Apple would just make it easier. Like, why can't I just adjust all that on my phone? Yeah. It would be so much easier, but that is how you do it. So Nate, is this something that you have ever used or have a need to do?
I did use this one day a few years ago. I got really motivated to organize some of my photos, and yes, I had a batch of photos that were in the 1970s date range or whatever, that, from an old digital camera or something. So I had gone in and adjusted dates in there. The nice thing is most photos now I take with my phone, so a lot of the data is already in there. You've got the faces search, the places search, but having this extra tool, if you have abnormal photos and videos, is very good to know about.
Well, people who import a bunch of photos with their scanner, or if they have a bunch of actual photos and they use their phone to quote scan them in, it's not going to give you a lot of the correct information. Yes. If I take a picture of a photo from the 70s, I don't want it to show up in 2022. If you're an archivist or a historian, this could be a really useful tip.
That is true. Very true. Well, let us move on to our takes of the week. So we've talked about some of the AI photo services and everything. Well, there's a new service that is taking the tech nerd world by storm, let's be honest, called ChatGPT. And it's an AI chatbot. It was made by the OpenAI, which is an artificial intelligence research company. They're the ones that make, what's the name of their, it's one of the
Dolly?
photo one. Yeah, the Dolly 2 photos that we had talked about a while back. But this thing, I haven't gotten in there, but it seems amazing. In the article from IndianExpress.com, the oft-cited news source on our podcast, that might be a first. They've got some tweets, one from Keith Winrow. It says, I can't compete with this. So he asks the ChatGPT, it says, explain AI alignment, but write every sentence in the speaking style of a guy who won't stop going on tangents to brag about how big the pumpkins he grew are.
What in the world?
So then it responds, AI alignment refers to the problem of ensuring that an intelligent agent, such as an AI, acts in a way that is aligned with our goals and values. Now, I don't want to brag, but I have to tell you, I grew the biggest pumpkins you've ever seen this year. I mean, they were absolutely massive. I'm not exaggerating either. These pumpkins were so big that I had to use a wheelbarrow to move them around. Anyway, back to AI alignment. The idea is that we want to make sure that the AI is doing what we want to do, not just what we tell it to do. It's a tricky problem, but I think it's important. And hey, speaking of tricky problems, did I mention that I grew the biggest pumpkins you've ever seen this year? And it just goes on like this.
I'm telling you, they were huge.
Yeah. So it's, and there's another.
It's perfect.
It's perfect. There's another tweet. What kid is ever doing homework again now that ChatGPT exists? And it's just really, like, you can do code stuff in there. Mm-hmm. You can have ongoing conversations where it seems to be like what we've wanted AI to be. Yeah. Now, it's not. You
say write a term paper on this subject in the style of
a high schooler with, gamer speak mixed in or something. So you can do that. But I've seen some other stuff about people solving math problems or coding issues, and I saw on Twitter earlier today, one of the people involved with this said that they've got over 1 million users already within a week on this. But I think we're going to be hearing a lot more. And this is just the first version of this thing. So we've gone from funny AI photo generation to a full-on conversation thing. So maybe we'll write the show notes on ChatGPT next week and just read that.
Well, this AI stuff, it started with images, and now videos are being able to be AI generated and augmented. And now the writing, this is happening so fast, and it's been like a year.
Yeah.
And this has matured to where, on one of the podcasts we listened to, someone was saying about the code, where they said write some code that does this or whatever, and it would go out and it would piece together the computer code, so he didn't have to type it in, and it was good. It's like, what in the world? So pretty soon it's going to be like those movies where it's like, computer, write a script that does blah, blah, blah when I touch this button. Okay, ready. You press it and it does the thing. And it's like, I didn't have to even open up the interface.
Yes.
Amazing.
Yes, and I missed it in here if they explained what GPT stands for. It seems like there's got to be some explanation of that, but I'm not seeing it. But yeah, so it's this new language modeling stuff, and man, it's pretty impressive. So, and fun.
Yeah.
Talking about huge pumpkins.
So hilarious.
Yes. Let me use Google, or I should have gotten ChatGPT to ask what GPT stands for.
You should guess.
Yeah. Give me a guess, Dave.
I think it's giant pumpkin talk.
You got it. That's exactly right. Or can also be generative pre-trained transformer.
Okay. Well, that makes a little more sense.
Yes, indeed. But for that one tweet, giant pumpkin talk definitely made sense. And I mentioned earlier that we're getting to the end of the year lists, and my Pocket Cast podcast app, it gave me a thing. Here's your 2022 in review, and I'm like, Hey, man, I still got a month left. I'm going to be
Yeah.
listening to a lot more podcasts, so I'm not sure if they're updating that throughout the month, but I'm like, I got to get these numbers up a little bit.
I was frustrated with that. You're talking about Apple's one, right?
No, this was in the Pocket Cast.
Oh, the Pocket Cast.
Yeah,
well, the
they have
Apple
one, too.
that came out is like in the app, and you click it, and it opens up a web browser, and it goes to a web page and has like charts. It's not like the Spotify one where
it's interactive.
in the browser.
Yeah, that's weird.
I mean, it's kind of interactive, but yeah, these end of year things. But they're all coming out now. I'm with you. Today is December 4th or something.
5th.
It's not the end of the year.
Yeah.
What's going on?
Well, because they want to be done and not thinking about work for the holidays. So
I suppose it'd be nice to open that on Christmas, though.
Yes. Or New Year's Eve.
Yeah.
Say,
New Year's
or
Eve would
New
be
Year's
perfect.
Day. New Year's Day, nobody's doing anything on New Year's Day
That'd be
except for my
perfect.
mom's birthday.
Well,
But
and then if
otherwise,
it's New Year's Day, it includes even
the year,
Yeah.
the entire year. What a novel idea. But back to the article at hand from 9 to 5 Google. YouTube lists top trending videos, creators, and songs of 2022. So the trending videos list is based on in-country views of videos uploaded in 2021, excluding short 2021. Excluding shorts, I think they copied and pasted this article and forgot to switch out one of the
They totally did.
years, because I did that for one of my clients' websites today. So
Yeah.
it happens to the best of us. But so looks like the top videos, number one.
Hold on, don't even say it. It's Party in Da USA by Davey B and the Afro Posse.
Oh, no, it is actually the Not Nerd Podcast, episode 347.
Yes.
Not quite. It's Technoblade with the So Long Nerds video.
I am not familiar with that video.
No, as I think many of these things, I'm pulling it up now. Technoblade, it is somebody playing Minecraft with some voiceover on it. Number two, The Guardian News, watch The Uncensored Moment, Will Smith, blah, blah, blah. Number three, Dream, Hi, I'm Dream. Number four, the halftime show from the Super Bowl. Number five, MrBeast. I built Willy Wonka's Chocolate Factory. A prank one, some other ones. Again, I don't think, I watched the Super Bowl halftime show, but other than that, not familiar. U.S. top creators. Any guesses at the number one?
Well, probably Mr. Beast, but I'm surprised that Heist Ranger video isn't on that list, but go on.
Yes. Mr. Beast, 114 million subscribers. But after that, Niche LMAO, Airrack, Ryan Trahan.
Look at the difference, though.
Yeah,
There's
114 million down to 18.7 million for the second.
Yeah, it is a big jump. Mr. Beast wins by a landslide.
Yes.
And honestly, I think I've only seen a couple of his videos. I'm not trying to be cool. It's just I'm not interested in that content, I guess.
Yeah. I actually watched one today, Mr. Beast. He was giving away a private jet. And there was probably a dozen guys, and they had to keep their hand on the jet. Whoever kept their hand on the jet the longest. But he would make them do things like they had to walk around the jet, or they had to get in the jet. They went and flew somewhere and came back. I mean, it's just, the guy does these amazing videos, and then some guy wins a private jet.
But what if so you've got to hangar it somewhere, and you've got to pay for fuel and a pilot, unless you are a pilot.
Yeah.
So, I mean, maybe it's a burden to have that. I think I would sell it immediately.
The funny thing is, they couldn't keep it. They had to give it to somebody. So they were talking about who the winner would give it to. So it was like the guy's brother or whatever it was. But,
oh, okay. Well, if you could do a family member or something, I would give it to some relief organization that could really use it or something.
Yes. But it'd be interesting to know the follow-up on the personal jet, $2.5 million jet that he gave away. But all of these other people, so the number two guy, Niche LMAO, he's also the number one breakout creator. Any guesses? Oh, you probably see it, Dave, but the U.S. top songs.
Oh, what was that question?
Yeah, don't look down the article.
Okay.
The top song on YouTube.
I didn't see that. I clicked on
Yes.
Niche LMAO.
Oh, okay.
And I'm still very confused about what he does.
What he does, yes.
But no, the top song on YouTube this year.
Yes.
Because there are some current songs that I would say, but they haven't been out very long. So this year, let me think about this.
It is one you are very familiar with. You have sung it to me. I'll give you that hint.
Man, I am drawing a blank here. I'm just gonna have to put my tail between my legs and walk off.
Well, I'll give you another hint. Disney.
Oh, I know what it is. The Trouble with Bruno.
We don't talk about Bruno.
Yeah, that's what it is. We don't talk about Bruno.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And then some Kodak Black and Jessica Darrow. I've never heard of her. And I'm a DJ. Bad Bunny, Future, Bad Bunny. Carol G and Becky G, Imagine Dragons. Carol G, never heard of Carol G, and all over the lists.
We're too old.
Yes. And then they also have in here, kind of interestingly, the global top ads. So the ads leaderboard. Number 4 is Apple.
I just watched their Escape from Work ad. They posted it on Vimeo or something. The super long one. It's like 15 minutes long.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Nice. Number 1 is Amazon. Number 2 is Telecom Egypt. Number 3, ahead of Apple, is Clash of Clans.
Oh, boy.
That game.
It's everywhere.
Crazy. But yeah, so YouTube, it's a thing.
Yeah, it is.
It is. And another thing that is very frustrating, I found an article, Comcast's sneaky broadcast TV fee hits $27, making a mockery of advertised rates. So those of you that are Comcast customers or Xfinity customers that look at your ad, you will notice that on top of your agreed upon fee, there is a broadcast TV fee, which is an extra amount that you pay to get the broadcast stations. So they're talking about in one area in the Northeast, it's now $27 a month extra fee to be able to get your local stations.
Well, you know what? Put up an aerial antenna and tell them to go take a hike.
But this never-ending battle of cable. And I heard on a podcast they were talking about how Comcast lost, or the cable providers lost another, 600,000 subscribers this past quarter or whatever. And it's like, hey, instead of giving a better deal and better product, let's just raise the prices. That'll bring them back in.
Yeah, they'll love it. Well, in many places they act kind of like a monopoly and people just don't have a choice.
Yep, that's true. That is true. Well, a close to home security and privacy story this week. Our beloved LastPass, which you aren't using anymore. No. You jumped ship.
I did. Last time they had a problem, I jumped ship. Yeah. And I have a feeling you're going to talk about another problem they had.
Yes, they had a recent security incident, and it looks like the earlier one that was somebody got some unauthorized access. Somebody used something gotten from that one to get in. Now, they got some customer information, but they were quick to remind people that all the passwords remain safely encrypted due to LastPass's zero-knowledge architecture, which means they cannot access your passwords. But this is a real bummer. I've actually just finally got a client on a Black Friday deal to sign up for LastPass for his company. This stuff happens to everybody. It stinks when it happens to somebody like LastPass, but my feeling, hopefully they just get better because of this.
Yeah, I bought a business version of this to try out at our work, and I won't be pursuing it. I just won't get that $40 back, I guess.
Yes. It's the LastPass. I know I recommend a password manager all the time. It is a hard pill to swallow for a lot of people because you got to put some work in to make it work. It's not as easy as just having a post-it note on your screen and using the same password everywhere. But
once you get into the groove of it, especially now with Apple's keychain, which extends to the iOS devices, most of the people I know, they just save their passwords on their phone and they show up in their computer if you're using Safari web browser.
Yes.
And for most people, that's just good enough.
And I do believe the Apple keychain now works on some browser on Windows. So if you had a Windows computer, you can also use it there. So I am still sold on LastPass. I'm going to continue using it. It's part of my workflow now, but I could understand why some people might be hesitant.
Yeah, and for those who don't remember, my alternative that I use is called Bitwarden, BIT
Yes.
Warden.
Very nice. Well, our bonus odd take of the week, this is a little different one. Not the craziest thing ever, but AI is a thing. And
What?
Futurepedia.io is their claim, the largest AI tools directory updated daily. And it says we add 5+ new tools every day. Now, I opened the page. When I opened it, I saw right at the top one of your previous picks of the week, palette.fm,
Yes.
for colorizing the pictures.
Oh, that still works so good.
Yeah.
It's so fun for me to troll the colorization or photo restore subreddit.
Yeah.
And someone's like, hey, I got this photo and look at the good work I did because I'm awesome. And I'll take the photo and I'll stick it through Palette FM and post it and be like, I did this in Palette FM in about 2 seconds and it looks about 80% as good as yours.
Yeah.
So crazy. So yeah, I'm going to check this out. It looks like there's a lot of really cool tools in here.
Yeah, and there's Dolly 2 with the image generation, Copy Monkey. I mean, it just Crayon, which we talked about before. But a great little discovery tool if you're trying to figure out this whole AI thing and see what it can do for you.
If only this had been around almost a decade ago, all the SEO people for Google who write articles with backlinks and all that stuff.
Yes.
They could have just said, write me an article on dentistry.
Yes.
And it would just do it. And then you could post an article and
Yeah. So, and it tells you on each one if it's paid or free or freemium, if they have a mobile app, if it's open source. They have some hashtags so you can sort, image, design, assistant, SEO. There we go. ScaleNet. Produce content that serves your business goals in a simple and scalable way.
Spoiler alert, it doesn't really work like that anymore.
Yes.
You can try it if you want.
Yes. Contact me at Consist Media if you're looking to do SEO, because it's not what it used to be, and don't let anybody sell you on the way it used to be. But yeah, AI generated game assets. I mean, this list goes on. You could spend a year just trying out these different AI services, but I think we know there's a couple helpful ones that we've used, and I'm sure there's a lot of other really cool stuff in here. So
I don't like websites like this. It's an infinite scroll.
Yes.
It just never stops. There's no next page or anything. It just goes.
Goes and goes and goes. Yes, that is a thing on the internet. And you know what else is a thing on the internet? Our picks of the week.
Nate, have you ever been walking around in your house and the lights are off and you crash into something? Maybe you hit your shin?
Often.
This is slightly related, and I kind of forgot about it because I was excited to talk to you about technology. But I hit my knee on the corner of a box here under my desk, right in the middle of it's a plastic box. Oh, it hurt so bad. But I digress a bit. This product would not have helped me with my knee problem. But we've talked about these before, and we've laughed about them before, but I picked up a couple of these for work, and it is the Wyze Nightlight. And you've had them in your house for a while, and you may have even had them as a pick of your week.
I did on episode 302, Sleepy Stupor, from September 22nd, 2021, if I remember correctly.
Do.
You'd need to go look at that episode, because the album artwork is you and your daughter at Comic-Con.
Portland. When I had my goggles and all that.
Yes.
Yeah, so just a little over a year ago, we talked about these. Well, due to Cyber Month and all of this, there were some sales going on, and I'm like, I got to get some of these for my stairway at home, because I tested them at work, and they work as advertised.
Yeah.
So I got a 6-pack for home. I know where I'm going to use 3 of them. The other 3, I don't know where I'm going to use them, but I will find a place. Believe you me. To describe these a bit, they are a little rectangle that has a light that shoots out of the top and bottom. They're wireless. They stick on the wall by a little magnetic plate. They charge via USB, and the battery lasts a long time. So you're not gonna you probably have to charge them twice a year or something like that. And then you just stick up the little metallic sticker, pop the thing on there, and instant night light. There's no screwing into the wood or to the walls. There's no trying to find an outlet, because it can only go in an outlet if you've got some models. This can go anywhere. And so, one of the beauties is they link together. So my stair example, if you have one at the top, one in the middle, and one at the bottom of the stairs, as you approach the bottom one, all three will light up because they have motion sensors and they're connected to one another. So you can choose to do that or not, but I find it really useful. There's this really dark stairway at church, and the light's kind of around the corner, and I'm like, I just want to go downstairs. I don't want to fiddle with lights.
Yeah.
So I walk around the corner, and boom, lights turn on. I go downstairs, they shut back off. It's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, and you can sync them together or not have them synced and just use them independently, and it's a 3-pack. And what are they running these days, or what did you get them for?
They're like $18 or $20 for a 3-pack. Let's just through the magic of on Amazon, I actually had them pulled up here. $22 if you get the 3-pack, but on the Wyze website you can get them for $13.99. But keep in mind, you're going to have to pay a $5 shipping fee.
Yes.
So it's about
the same. Usually works out to be about the same between Amazon or directly through Wyze.
And it's because there's a sale going on right now. The 6-pack I picked up for $25.99.
Oh, nice.
Which was a good price. They're normally $40.
Yeah.
And I found a coupon code online that dropped a price, I think, $1 more.
Wow.
So instead of $5 shipping, I got $4, or maybe it's $6 and $5. But I saved $1 on shipping. So for $25, $6 or $7, I got a 6-pack, and I'm going to just stick them up everywhere. It's going to be
Very
great.
Nice. Yes, they are a good product. Well, this was completely unplanned, but my pick of the week is your pick of the week from episode 302.
What? Are you kidding me? Did we just swap?
I'm kidding you.
Did we just become best friends?
Yes, we just became best friends. Your pick on that episode was the Container Store shoe boxes, which I do back. I do believe in those products.
That's what my knee hit. Are you kidding me?
That is crazy.
My knee jammed right into the corner of one of those.
Well,
it comes full circle.
It does. No, I am very excited about my pick of the week. I got it 2 days ago. Mm-hmm. And I had teased this. I had let you know, Dave, that I had said that I wanted to get one, but I was going to wait for a Black Friday deal, which I got. It is
hair implants.
Hair implants.
Yes, you did show that to me.
Apple Watch Ultra. Now, you might see on my screen there, Dave, if I point at the right camera, it says 10%, you have 10% battery life remaining.
Oh, yeah, I do see that.
Well, the reason why my battery is so low, I received it Saturday afternoon, took it out of the box, set it up, put it on my wrist, didn't charge it anything. It was at like 83% when I got it. We are now 50 hours later, and it just got down to 10%.
That's pretty darn cool.
Yes.
I was talking with a friend on Friday, and he's got the SE, and he says it goes for about 48 hours.
Wow.
So, I mean, the newer watches, and especially the Ultra that's bigger.
Yes.
That's amazing.
So now you mentioned bigger, and it is. When I took my old one off and held it up next to it and showed Chelsea, she, kind of half looked at it from the side of her eye, but she goes, "That thing's big." And I was like, "Yes, it is bigger." Now, I was curious how that was going to feel. I don't notice a difference.
Because it's light. It's made out of titanium or something like that.
It is. So it doesn't feel heavier on my wrist. It is a little bit bigger, a little bit thicker than the previous ones. But the extra battery life, it's got the cellular built in. Siri's trying to listen to me. It's got a bigger screen. The screen almost seems too big at sometimes. It's like, geez, that notification, can I make it a little bit smaller on there? Like it's a huge Instagram logo that somebody liked a photo or something like that. And but no, I went with the what is it? The midnight. It's the scuba diver.
Higher.
Oh yeah, the right camera. The scuba diver band. Just because I figured it's coming with a band, I might as get one that looks the coolest.
Is it hard to take them on and off with the clasp?
No, it's not. It's really pretty easy. And this, This makes for great podcast. So this little metal piece here, the kind of loop holder, that actually comes out because there's the holes in here. So you slide it, you can move that to where you want it on the thing. And then it's got, in true Apple style, a really nice, again, I've only taken it off, I think, once since I've gotten it. So I might feel differently about that after I finally have to charge it. The pro tip here is they cost $7.99 from Apple's site, and they're currently...
And that's 700, kids, not $7.
Yes, not like the Timex watches of our youth. But on Amazon, it's $7.49 just right now, so $50 off the normal price. So I ordered it Black Friday, I think it was on Black Friday, and it originally said it was going to arrive the next Monday, and then it was saying it was going to be like the middle of December, and it arrived on like the 2nd, so like a week later after I ordered it. But this is the Ocean Band, the Midnight Ocean Band.
Yeah, it's like the really thick polyelastomer, or whatever they call that.
Yes, but
I think I would probably go with the orange one or the trail color. The orange might get a little too much after a while.
Yes, but it works with all the different bands too, so you can use any band off Amazon. There's a million. I actually might be selling finally my Apple Watch Series 4. And I was like, I'm not going to sell it to you with a band. Just go on Amazon and get what you want, because all mine are a little bit grungy or used. It's like just you can buy 100 different bands for $5 a piece on Amazon. But so Apple Watch Ultra.
Yeah, I thought you had a Series 6
also.
Also.
I do. The Series 6 was the one I was wearing.
I see.
My Series 4. So I had the Series 0 that I got day one. Then I finally upgraded the Series 4. Then 2 years later, I bought the Series 6. Never got around to selling my Series 4. And now it's 2 years later, and I've upgraded to the Ultra.
So you're just going to have a collection.
Yeah.
And if you played your cards right, you could just rotate between them all and never have to charge.
Wait on a charge.
Put the other one
Go
on.
back to the Series 0, and, which Isla has worn a couple times, and she got a nice rainbow band for that. But I mean, like you were kind of saying, the new Apple Watches, they've made a lot of improvements. I've always been I've always been a watch wearer, and that when this Apple Watch Ultra, I said, you know what, it's more expensive, but it's got a lot of the features. I didn't activate the cellular. I don't know when I would need that. Maybe if I was going to, I would add a cellular line on it, but
it's probably about the same size as my Wyze watch here.
Yeah. Are you wearing both watches again?
I was, but I'm charging the Apple Watch because my Series 6 or 5. The battery doesn't last very long. I'm charging the thing like twice a day.
That is a bonus pro tip I will give people. I saw somebody on Facebook or something selling an older Apple Watch, and be wary when buying used electronics about when the battery is not easily replaceable.
Yeah.
Of getting stuck with a bad battery that's not gonna serve you. But
I'll just have to buy an Ultra.
Yes. Well, the good news for all our listeners, both of our picks this week, you can go to notpicks.com and use our Amazon links to purchase this. And I am excited to announce we're going to do our first giveaway on the site. And what we have this week, you have a copy of this that I purchased for you, but it is the Cult of Mac book, and it was, I think, a pick of the week. It's a very cool book just about the story of Apple. So I have one of these that I'm going to give away. Here's how it works. You go to notpicks.com, you find something that you use, some product, some previous pick, and go in and leave a review on it. So like a product review you would do anywhere else. So you can I'll have some details on the site for you, but every 2 weeks we'll do a giveaway, and I really want to encourage our listeners to go on there and put reviews on, so it's not just you and me talking, Dave. It's other people on there too.
And I grabbed my copy again. Thank you very much.
Yes.
And I opened it up, and it smells like fine Corinthian leather.
Ooh.
I don't know why,
in
but it
true
does.
Apple fashion. Let me see if this one does. Maybe I'll spray some.
Some musk.
But yes, we're going to be doing some giveaways on the site. And a reminder, as you're doing your holiday shopping, just go to notpicks.com, click on the Amazon link there if you're shopping on Amazon, and then we get a little kickback. Man, it feels like a flashback to years ago when we had our affiliate account before. But yeah, it gives us a little kickback. Doesn't harm you. Just a couple extra clicks to go through notpicks.com, and you can look through there. We're continuing to work on updating descriptions and photos and get more of our pics on there and everything. But notpicks.com is where you need to go.
It could be a great resource for the tech lover in your life.
Yes. Notpicks.com, much like notnerd.com if you didn't put that together.
I just realized that is a thing.
Yes, indeed. Well, with that, we should definitely wrap up this episode. We have talked tech at you long enough. Thank you so much for listening. Now get out there and tech better. Don't want to read Divi code for our show notes this week.
I mean, speak for yourself.
Yeah, just been a busy beaver.
I need to whip mine out. It's closer to me now, so I can grab it.
Nice.
When I'm sitting here and bored. Ooh.